What's up, guys? That's so cringe. I don't know how to start this without like kind of being a little bit cringe. I've never been good at like the what's going on, guys, or like any of that stuff. I have a podcast and I did that for a little bit. I made like a little intro. It just felt so like disingenuous, so I kind of stopped. Anyways, hi. My name's Jason Bott. So there's this bodybuilder guy. His name is Sam Sulik, and I mean, I'm sure some of you know about him, some of you don't. Of like the 10 people watching this, but essentially he does like little video logs every single day of him working out or just making like, you know, bodybuilding progress. And he's been posting every day for like 2 years now, 2.5 years, something crazy. And that was really inspiring to me, especially like seeing him. So he pretty recently won his Mr. Olympia Pro card, or Mr. Olympia Pro card, his bodybuilding pro card at the Arnold Classic, and that was like, holy shit! Like, this guy put in the work, like was literally consistent every single day, just made it part of his life, and he's like legitimately winning, and he's actually like making a lot of progress, and he looks really good, and that was pretty inspiring to me. And I was like, why don't I try to do a similar thing with what I'm doing? So a little bit about me. I'm a student at the University of Texas, and I do undergrad research. So I work at this like research lab in North Austin, and I study polar ice caps. So more specifically like Antarctic ice caps, but yeah, I kind of study how they're changing. I study like their, you know, the physical dynamic processes that attribute to why we observe the ice sheets as we do today. You know, their velocity, how fast they're thinning, things like that. But essentially, it's been a grind. It's been a real grind. I've been at this since like October, November of 2022. I don't know how long ago that was, so that's like 3 months plus 2023 plus 2024 plus 2 months. So basically 2.5 years. I guess we're in March now. It's kind of crazy. Time flies. But essentially 2.5 years I've been at this job, and man, it's been a grind, dude. Like, it could be very, like, you could lose motivation pretty quickly. It could be pretty soul-sucking. You really got to keep the right mentality. It's hard work. You know, there's never, I feel like this might be true in a lot of different disciplines, but there's like never enough data to like answer the question the way that you would want to. So you always got to think of like creative ways to use what you have to answer some question. I think in geology that's what's it called? What's the word? That's especially true because it's so hard to sample what's under our feet. You might learn. I might talk about that more later, but essentially, yeah, that's what I do. And I guess I don't want to like use this channel like glorify it or put myself on a pedestal or anything. I think I just want to make like a video log, a lot like Mr. Sulik, where I kind of just like talk about how I'm feeling, my thoughts, what I'm doing that day, and also to just like help me stay consistent with this research stuff, and hopefully make something good out of it, like a research paper. Research paper would be like the big W, like an impactful research paper while I'm an undergrad. But yeah, I guess I don't have a whole lot else to say. I mean, yeah, I'll probably just be on here talking about my thoughts, maybe some philosophy stuff. I'm really into stoicism and, you know, trying to like better myself. And I kind of slacked on that like the past year. I was kind of down last year, but I'm feeling a lot better now, and kind of on that path of like self-improvement. And not, I don't want to say self-improvement because that kind of pulls in all these like weird Andrew Tate, like more just like betterment of myself. And I kind of try to base that on a lot of Stoic beliefs. You know, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, a lot of those guys. I think they have really, really good thoughts. I like Miyamoto Musashi. Buddhism is great too. So I might incorporate some of those ideas into some of these videos sometimes, or maybe just give a little tidbit of like, you know, what I think the best way to approach this is, or I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of just like a video log. I think for myself more than anybody. Like imagine you're like 40 and you can like look back on a video of yourself when you're like 21 and listen to it and be like, oh, I was so stupid, blah 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 blah. This ended up like you know everything that's gonna happen. You know the ending to the movie, so everything seems a little bit silly when you look back on it. But you can kind of like appreciate like where you were at mentally at that time, and you know like what allowed you to make so and so thing happen or whatever. And I think it's kind of nice to just like have that up here, and for like my friends and family, you know, the 10 people watching this or the 5 people watching this, you know, maybe you'll be able to see how I'm doing if you're wondering how I'm doing, see what kind of progress I'm making, see what I'm spending my time on, and if you're not my friends and family or just somebody passing by, maybe you can get something out of it. You know, maybe you can be inspired like I was inspired by Sam, to be more consistent in something, and to kind of really delve into your passions and work hard. Yeah, I don't have a ton else more to say. That's about it. Yeah, these are gonna be like totally unscripted, just like me in my car. I might bring you guys into work sometimes, but it's kind of a research lab, and I don't know if it's the greatest place to like film. If it's like the weekend and there's nobody there, then it's probably fine. But you know, it's not like the gym. Like I could take you, like if this were a bodybuilding channel, I could pretty easily take y'all into the gym, but I still don't know how I'm gonna like film myself actually doing stuff. And it is kind of boring too. I'm just like, a lot of times I'm just like sitting on a computer, or I'm sitting at my desk just like doing equations, or thinking of ideas, or writing code or something. It's not a ton of like you know, you're not gonna see some huge chest pump or anything. I might show you guys me working out every now and then, because I do really enjoy like working out. I try to work out a lot, but that kind of remains to be seen. I kind of want to see where this goes, and I want to see if I can be consistent with like uploading a video a day, every day, kind of like updating my research progress, what I'm working on, whatever. Right now, I have to write a report for school on the breakup of Gondwana, specifically the separation of South America from South Africa, and the failed separation of South America from South Africa. So essentially, when was this? Like about 180, 150, and no, this was 150 million years ago ish. I think, no, the oldest was 178, so around 180 million years ago. So during the Jurassic, when like Allosaurus and Diplodocus and Stegosaurus were still around. Actually, I don't know if they were around at that time specifically, but this was during the Jurassic. The Jurassic being like a period in geologic time. Dinosaurs were around back then. It was kind of the golden age of dinosaurs. Hopefully there's no paleontologist watching this who's gonna just like be like, what did he just say? Like, but as I understand it, it's like the golden age of dinosaurs. But essentially, 180 million years ago, there was this huge supercontinent. It's called Gondwana, and it was basically I guess you guys are gonna see it kind of reversed, but South America, Africa was right here, and then you had the Indian kind of subcontinent, so India was right here, and then you had Australia over here, and in the middle of all of them was Antarctica. And then you had New Zealand and Madagascar attached to it as well. And at some point, the continent started to break apart around 180 million years ago. And as it started to break apart, South America and Africa right here started to separate. And then you start opening the lower Atlantic Ocean. But that didn't happen until around like 130 million years ago. So there's this like 50 million year gap-ish where, you know, like the continent is trying to rip apart and it's not really succeeding, and then it finally succeeds whenever the South Atlantic starts forming and Africa and South America start to really split apart. But anyways, part of that failed separation between South America and Africa is this huge basin in Patagonia, and so Patagonia being like the southernmost section of South America, over like Chile, Argentina kind of area, and there was this like this rift that opened up, kind of like this, kind of like you like unzipped part of the continent, and it started to open up like this, and then it filled in with a bunch of sediments, and it created this like oceanic crust. So there's this oceanic basin. I'm pretty sure there was water going up into South America as it was splitting apart, and then it was trying to split apart from the rest of Gondwana, and then it kind of failed, and it wasn't very successful, and then it closed back up, and all that oceanic crust and oceanic sediment got like lifted up as it closed in on itself. So it's kind of this failed separation, and there's some like geologic stuff associated with that, geologic evidence for that. So basically I got to write a report on that and think about what that means for different things, like it kind of gives you insights into how continents break apart, what forces might cause continents to break apart, because we're still not totally certain on the exact forces that would cause like a huge supercontinent like Gondwana to just fragment into the continents that we know of today. You know, it could be like heat from the mantle, so that's the, you know, that's the layer of Earth under the crust. So we live on this very thin veneer of solid rock on the very surface of Earth, and then the mantle is this huge layer of like partially molten, very viscous, but kind of like fluidy on long time scales, hot rock. There's a lot of like olivine, if you know what olivine is, perovskites, if you know what perovskites are, and so you can get like heat anomalies, basically, where you have this plume that comes up, and then that plume will, you know, add a bunch of heat to that thin veneer that we live on the outside, and that might like weaken the crust, cause uplift of the crust, which would cause things to kind of break apart maybe. And there's also like different tectonic forces. So if you're like plate is subducting and then that angle of subduction changes, that might actually change like the forces associated with, you know, that tectonic movement. So think you're subducting and you're like pressing into this plate right here, and it's slowly building these mountains, and they build higher and higher and higher. But then the angle of this plate changes, and then it goes down, and all of a sudden these mountains that are under all this compressive stress start to like widen out a little bit. And as that happens, and as they like shift this way, then you might open up the crust, I guess, to the side of those mountains, because you're pulling everything this way as that slab kind of rolls back. So you pull everything out, and then you start to like form new crust, and you start to like form a big basin, and you start to rift things. And so I think that it's kind of a mixture of both going on. There might be like added heat, which causes the crust to weaken and kind of like creates the right scenario for something like, you know, that slab rollback to really have a big effect on the tectonic forces and things like that. I might use a lot of jargon in these videos that you don't understand, but that's okay. I don't really I don't know. It sounds kind of like not empathetic, but like I don't really care. Like you guys can Google it, the ChatGPT, and also like these videos are more for me than anybody else, I guess. And you can learn something too. So I'll try not to use too much jargon, because now I kind of sound like an asshole. But anyways, yeah, that's about it. I think this video, oh yeah, 15 minutes, getting pretty long. I kind of went on a spiel for a while. But that's about it. I'm just gonna like talk about my research every day and talk about how things are going and try to use it to like keep me consistent and like repeating myself like 10 times. Anyways, yeah, that's about it.